a second series of gigs across the UK. In 2016, more than 100 events took place involving hundreds of bands. Well, with details of what's planned for this year, Tommy Kennedy, the London organiser, and Martin Muscatt from the group Taurus Trakker, who will be headlining a gig on Monday, are with us to explain more. Lovely to see you.
Yeah,
thanks again for coming in. Just remind us of last year and the aims behind it, because it was such a success.
Well, basically, it was Emma Rule and a guy called Alan McGee. Alan was Creation Records, who managed Oasis. They came up with this concept. So all over the country, people got involved. No one's getting paid for it, but the money raised, all the money that was raised, went to the homeless charity crisis. And as you know, in London, there's lots of people homeless. You just step out and see them every 5 seconds, basically.
Did you expect to have the support that you got last year? Because £40,000 is a huge amount of money for that charity.
Yeah, well, it was the first year. It was just started, but I mean, it just mushroomed. This year, it's going to be even bigger. I mean, and there's a feel-good factor as well when you're helping people, isn't there? You know what I mean? So, and we're also looking forward to the gig, which will be on Monday at the Mama Bar, 265 Portobello Road. And Martin will tell you the bands that are playing.
Yeah, but also, do that, Martin, but also tell us a little bit why this fits your band's ethos.
Okay, well, Taurus Trakker are a community-orientated band, and we've always liked to get involved in this kind of thing that helps other people. Because we're an independent band, there's no one telling us what to do, so we can get involved in whatever we want. And rather than kind of, following some sort of trail, kind of leading to the road of nowhere, we're not a young band, so we like to get involved in all of these issues.
Yeah, I mean, as a Londoner yourself, the issue of homelessness, it is so prevalent. As Tommy says, you have to step outside to see it. Did you feel that you wanted to make sure you were part of this?
Absolutely. Well, it's a subject really close to my heart, because I'm also a trained counsellor, and when I was training, I worked quite a bit with the homeless, and I saw those people, and I saw that they're victims of a system that's really, in a way, designed to leave some people at the bottom with nothing. And, other people were languishing in luxury at the top, and then the rest of us are struggling somewhere in the middle. So I felt like if I could do something to help those people, any small thing I could do, we should be looking at that in bands, because we've got a huge community of musicians.
Yeah.
And, instead of complaining that all the venues are shutting down, that's bad enough. So let's try and do something to help people. Let's take the matter into our own hands.
You will have seen the human aspect of this, because often people who are homeless are dehumanised.
Yes.
You've met the people yourself, you've spoken to them. That is so important to get that message across, that actually these are people who have just come across bad times.
Sure, of course, and it can happen to anyone. It's not, it doesn't take very long when someone's living on the street. It doesn't take very long for them to become completely alienated, really. Imagine sleeping out in the freezing cold. Imagine what that feels like. Plus, the average age, I think, that homeless people live to is 44. The massive outbreak of TB, which never gets spoken about.
Yeah, huge issues there, and a lot of support needed. Tommy, I guess 40,000 last year. This year, the aim bigger?
Yeah, definitely. I hope we go for maybe 100,000, but I mean, it's in the hands of the gods, really, to be honest. But if anybody does want to come along to this one on Monday, it's the Mama Bar. It's a really nice little venue, 265 Portobello Road. Everybody's welcome, and it'll be a good night, and we are raising money for Crisis, so... Yeah.
As well as your band, who else can we expect?
Okay, well, we've got my old friend Knox, who was in the Vibrators, who's always fantastic. He also runs a charity shop called Rock and Roll Rescue, so he's into the cause. We've got a band called Colt 45s, who are a really good local kind of rock and roll outfit. And we've got My Drug Hell, who were quite a successful band in the 90s, who are also really good. So it's going to be a good night, and 2 great DJs too.
Dr. Feel Good and Alex Pink. Yeah, really good DJs.
Both great DJs. Yeah.
Guys, love to see you both. Thank you for coming in to tell us all about it. And good luck with the bigger picture as well. I hope you raise the money that you need.
Thanks very much, Anthony.
Thank you. It's Tommy and Martin there, part of Musicians Against Homelessness. That gig taking place, as mentioned, this coming Monday, 7:30. The doors open at the Mama Bar in Notting Hill. You're watching London Live News. When we come back, Somerset House welcomes the 5th